Hello everyone, this is Rafi again from DK Medical School, and our today's topic is the father of all blood pressure regulatory mechanism, the Renin Angiotensin Aldosterone system. Before starting, I'm requesting if you are new to our channel, please subscribe and press the bell button to stay updated. So, let's get started. The Renin Angiotensin Aldosterone system. It deals with a lot of physiological function, but the most important function is blood pressure regulation. It only helps us to raise our blood pressure. That means it only gets activated when our blood pressure is falling down. For proper understanding, let's guess somehow our patient had an accident and he had some blood loss. Due to this hemorrhage, his blood volume is going down along with his blood pressure. Now, to save this patient, our renin angiotensin system can get activated in multiple ways. Firstly, due to low blood pressure, amount of blood flowing through the kidney is decreased. For that, blood flow to the nephron is also decreased. In our afferent arteriole, we do have some modified smooth muscle cells which works as in baroreceptors. These smooth muscle cells are actually called glomerular cells. Whenever the blood flow to the nephron is decreased, somehow these glomerular cells get activated and release renin. This is one way how renin is secreted. There is another mechanism inside our kidney. As blood flow to the kidney is less, that means amount of filtrate will also less. So the flow to the filtration through the tubules will also less. Due to a low flow rate, the cells in the proximal convoluted tubule absorbs a large amount of sodium. And due to high sodium absorption in the proximal convoluted tubule, our distal convoluted tubule gets a very low amount of sodium. This is the time when chemoreceptors in our distal convoluted tubule gets activated. These chemoreceptors are called macula densa. Macula densa feels that there is something wrong with the system as it is not getting enough sodium. So macula densa releases nitric oxide and prostaglandins. Finally, this nitric oxide and prostaglandins stimulates the glomerular cells to release more renin. We can get renin another way. Whenever there is low blood pressure, our carotid sinus gets activated and send signals to our central nervous system. Central nervous system generates a sympathetic outflow. This sympathetic outflow goes to glomerular cells of kidney through sympathetic fiber and causes release of more renin. Beta-1 adrenergic receptors play a very important role here. So finally, we have our enzyme renin in three ways. For low blood pressure in the afferent arteriole, for low filtration rate in the renal tubules, and for sympathetic outflow generated by our central nervous system. Meanwhile, our liver always produces angiotensinogen, which is actually a plasma protein. It stays in an inactive form. Whenever it comes to circulation, it is converted to angiotensin I by the act of renin. This angiotensin I goes through the lung and becomes angiotensin II by the act of angiotensin converting enzyme. This angiotensin converting enzyme is normally present in the endothelial cells of our lungs. Now we have our desired angiotensin II. Let's see how it works. Angiotensin II has its own receptors on the smooth muscles of peripheral vessels. Whenever angiotensin II comes in action, this smooth muscle contracts and causes vasoconstriction. Due to this vasoconstriction, total peripheral resistance increases, which increases the venous returns. And we know increased venous return cause a significant rise in diastolic blood pressure. But the story isn't finished yet. Angiotensin II also works on our adrenal gland. It causes release of aldosterone from zona glomerulosa. Thus, aldosterone works on renal tubules and increases the reabsorption of sodium. And we know, water always loves to follow sodium. Due to this sodium, water also comes to our circulation, which increases the blood volume and finally increases the systolic blood pressure. There is another way. Angiotensin II can also activate the supraoptic nuclei in our central nervous system, which cause the release of antidiuretic hormone from our pituitary gland. This antidiuretic hormone works on distal convoluted tubule and increases the reabsorption of water into blood, and again increases the systolic blood pressure. Now we have both of our systolic and diastolic blood pressure increased, which ultimately increase the total blood pressure and make it comes back to normal. Now let's summarize the whole process. Thank you everyone. Please do like this video and subscribe our channel. Your support means a lot to us. So please do subscribe. Stay with us.